Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. One of the things we all take for granted. Grass and plants, they're green. But why is that? What makes them green? Well, in school, we learn that plants, they're green because of chlorophyll. And that's where the plant, it carries out photosynthesis, so it takes in carbon dioxide, water, energy from light, and turns that into food and oxygen. Now, when I went to school, that was about the level we were taught. So I thought, well, come on, Gary, let's dig a little bit deeper. The chlorophyll, it absorbs light in the red and blue parts of the visible light spectrum, and it reflects back green light. This is why the plants look green. If the plants had absorbed all the different parts of the light spectrum, they'd actually look black. As I've said, plants, they absorb the light to drive photosynthesis. This is carried out by the chlorophyll, which is the light harvesting part of the cell. This absorbs red light, blue light, and it actually absorbs about 90% of the green light, with the rest of the green light being reflected. Now, it's thought that the energy from green light, it's just too powerful for a plant. If it was to try and use that, it could end up damaging its own cells. The light is converted into energy using a quantum mechanical step. And this step, it's near perfect. It absorbs virtually all the incoming light and it converts it to electrons that are then passed down to the reaction center inside the cell. The contents of cells, well, they're constantly moving, and they do cause fluctuations in the cell's energy output. The same happens when light changes. Think about a cloud passes over the top, the plant comes into shade, the amount of sunlight is reduced, the amount of energy produced there is also reduced. Cells, they want a steady input of energy. If there's not enough energy, the cell will fail. But if there's too much energy, then it risks damaging the cell. Now, over evolutionary time, through evolutionary processes, the pigments in the plant, they've become very finely tuned to deliver a constant electrical energy. The pigments, they absorb the light in the steepest part of the intensity curve. That's why we're using the reds and the blues. The greens are not so useful to it. Scientists have been studying this for years, and they've found that the machinery inside the cell, that's evolved to deliver a smooth and reliable electrical energy output, rather than working at maximum efficiency. Essentially, the process is evolved to be good enough to deliver the energy to the plant. The researchers have taken this and they've created a model, and they've used that to look at some organisms that carry out photosynthesis, but they use different coloured pigments. These are organisms that live generally in the deep oceans, and most of them have got more of a purple colour. The researchers, they found that the exact same process occurs, but it just uses different wavelengths of light. So how does this process work? The absorbed light, it excites the molecule within chlorophyll. And what that does is it causes the electrons in the molecule to move to a higher state of excitement. This essentially, it's a higher energy level. The chlorophyll itself, it's located in a disc called a thylakoid. Now this, it contains a large number of chlorophyll molecules all packed together. Within this thylakoid, there's also a liquid which is called stroma. The excited chlorophyll molecules, what they do is they react with the carbon dioxide in the stroma, and that produces sugars and oxygen. The sugar, well, that's a food that the plant needs to live and grow. The oxygen, well, it's essentially a byproduct. It gets released back into the air. To summarise this, plants, they're green because they absorb red and blue light, but reflect the green part of the visible light spectrum. The absorbed light is collected by chlorophyll and converted into electrical energy. This energy, in turn, it's used to turn carbon dioxide from the air into sugar, which is released to the plant for food, and oxygen, which goes back into the atmosphere. So that's a very quick summary of the research I found out about why plants and why grass is green. What are your thoughts on this? Are you able to add to this conversation? I'd love to dig deeper. One of my aims with these videos is to increase my knowledge. And yes, I get that from doing research, but hopefully we can build on that through the comments. So please drop a comment down below. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.